A very happy morning, children. I know you all are ready for your English test, isn't it? Yeah. So now let's revise lesson 4, 5 and 6 and have a short recap, okay? So you all know the test is for 35 marks, isn't it, children? Yes. And the remaining 15 marks will be there for your online attendance and your assignment plus your classwork, okay? So first we'll start with the synonyms. Synonyms nothing but meanings. Okay, so commoners. Who are commoners? Common people. Agility. What is agility? Agility is swiftness. Chakravyuha. Where did we come across Chakravyuha? In the game of Kabaddi, isn't it? Abhimanyu was getting trapped in a Chakravyuha created by his enemies. So what is Chakravyuha? It is a complex battle formation that is difficult to break. Next one, nobility. Nobility is nothing but a class of people of high rank. Next one, dodging. Dodging is avoiding by moving quickly. Frenzy. Frenzy is great excitement. So, seventh one is legacy. Legacy means tradition or heritage. Okay. Eighth one, monsieur. Monsieur is nothing but the French word for Mr. Next one, stammered. Stammered is spoke uncertainly. Tenth one, gaiety. Gaiety means joy and cheerfulness. It means happiness. 11th one, waltz. Waltz is nothing but a kind of ballroom dance. 12th one, narrative. Here, narrative means the story. Okay. Next one, write the antonyms of ancient. What is opposite for ancient, children? Modern. Dismiss, assemble. Famous, unknown. Fame, obscurity. Incidentally, opposite is certainly. Okay, third Roman letter, match the following. Kit kit. So here they have given important events and the names of the games. So you have to write the correct game. So kit kit is escargot. Chaturanga. Chaturanga is chess. Bhima is a wrestler. Fourth one, Independence Day. Yes, kite flying. Fifth one, Dandi Bio. It is Gilli Danda. So children, fourth Roman letter will be letter writing. Okay. So in this test, we are going to concentrate on the writing skill. So the previous test which we wrote in August, we did reading comprehension. Yes. And you all did it very effectively, children. Very good. So here we are going to write a leave letter to our class teacher requesting her to grant leave for 3 days for attending your brother's marriage. Okay. So for that, first what you have to do, you have to write your address. So from you have to write your name, 6th standard ICSE, name of your school and place. Okay. So to the class teacher and same name you have to write name of your school. Next, respected madam. So my brother's marriage will be celebrated on so and so date and place you have to mention, and all my family members are leaving for that place on the specified date. Then we will be returning back a day after the marriage. So I therefore request you to kindly grant me leave for 3 days from 14th of October to 16th of October. So when you're writing 3 days, you will be writing from the starting date to the final date. Okay. And when you're writing only for 2 days, then you have to write and in the middle. You should not write to. This is the mistake you usually do. So keep that in mind. Okay. Then you have to write thanking you and yours sincerely. Then write your name. Okay. This is the format of the letter. So children, you write in practice without making any spelling mistake. Okay. So children, next we have answer the following. All 3 answers you will be asked to write. Okay. So why was Kho-Kho called Ratera in ancient times? Kho-Kho was called Ratera in ancient times because it was played on raths or chariots. Okay. Then which character in Mahabharata is the inspiration behind the game of Kabaddi? How is the character an inspiration? So Abhimanyu in Mahabharata is the inspiration behind the game of Kabaddi because he got trapped in the Chakravyuha. What is Chakravyuha? A complex battle formation. Okay, it was created by his enemies, and the action plan used by both Abhimanyu and his enemies against each other probably inspired the techniques of touching and dismissing the opponents, so as well as the breath control, raiding and dodging in the game of Kabaddi. Okay. So children, I know you all are thorough with all the answers, so I'm not going to repeat all the answers. Okay, so from this page only one answer will revise. How did Matilda react when her husband told her about the invitation? So even after Matilda's husband told her about the ministerial invitation, she was not happy because she did not have proper dress and jewelry for the occasion. So, how did Loises get the money to buy a new diamond necklace? So, Matilda's husband had 18,000 francs inherited from his father, and they borrowed the rest of the money to buy the new diamond necklace. Right? Next, one more answer. So, according to the teacher, what elements should a good poem have? So, according to the teacher, a good poem should share the deep feelings of the poet. Here, the poet is none other than the child, okay? And it should have elements such as metaphor, simile, narrative, alliteration, personification, and a plot. So, children, the last part will be grammar. So, under grammar, first we are going to see phrases. So, what is a phrase? A phrase is a group of related words that does not have a subject performing an action. And a phrase can be a part of a sentence, but it cannot stand alone as a sentence. So, we are having three types of phrases. What are they? Noun phrase, adjective phrase, and an adverb phrase. So, first one, what is a noun phrase? A noun phrase is a group of words that functions as a noun and answers the question who or what. Next one, adjective phrase. It is a group of words that does the work of an adjective. What is the work of an adjective? It qualifies a noun, right? And it answers the question what kind, which one, how many, and how much. Next one will be adverb phrase. So it functions as an adverb and answers the question when, where, how often, and how long. So now shall we see the exercises? Yes, first one, the sandy beach stretched for miles. So it is describing that the beach stretched for miles. So what phrase? Yes, it is an adjective phrase. Second one, they live on the other side of the town. So where do they live? It is giving answer to the question where. So what phrase it is? It is adverb phrase. Next one, Sharon could not find her favorite sweater. So what phrase it is? Her favorite sweater. Yeah, it is a noun phrase. Fourth one, the project on which I am working is not yet complete. Yes, they are giving the details of the project. Then what phrase? Yeah, adjective phrase. Next one, my elder brother is a celebrated chef. So you are describing about the noun. Yeah, then it is a noun phrase. Next one, the shopkeeper exchanged the torn garment with reluctance. So with reluctance, yeah, it is an adverb phrase. Okay. Next one, is the underlined noun countable or uncountable? So you all know what is a noun. A noun is the name of a person, place, thing, or an animal. So here we are going to see what are countable and uncountable nouns. So it is easy. Countable nouns refers to the things we count, and a countable noun is used with a and an when it is singular, and the is used for both singular and plural, and uncountable nouns which cannot be counted. Okay, so now you have to read the sentence and you have to write whether it is countable or uncountable. First one, the children fell asleep quickly after a busy day of fun. So the underlined word is children. So children is countable or uncountable? Yeah, it is countable. Next one, be careful, the water is deep. Water. Is water countable? No, it is uncountable. Next one, the parade included fire trucks and police cars. Yes, here the vehicles you can count, so it is countable noun. Next, we like the large bottles of mineral water. Can you count the bottle? Yeah, yes, it is a countable noun. Fifth one, my mother uses real butter in the cakes she bakes. So butter, can you count butter? You cannot. So it is an uncountable noun. Understood? So children, the next Roman letter is going to be phrasal verbs. So what are phrasal verbs? They are a group of words with a verb and a preposition or an adverb or both. Okay, so they are called as phrasal verbs. So here what you are going to do? You are going to fill in the blanks with the phrasal verbs from the box that mean the same as the word within the brackets, and you have to add yes or ed wherever it is required. Okay, so now let's start with the first sentence. You must dash, in the bracket you're having search for information. Okay, and the meaning of this word in the dictionary. So what you can write? You must look up. Look up means searching for in the information. Okay, you're going to search for information in the dictionary. So what is the apt word there? It is look up. The phrasal verb is look up. Second one, the family dash takes care of their pet dog very well. So what is the phrasal verb for take care of? It is looks after. Okay, next one, the teacher ask the students to dash examine the other ways of solving the problem. So what is the other word for examine? Examine is look into. We have to use the phrasal verb look into. Okay, next sentence. My aunt warned me to dash be vigilant, monkeys near the temple. So what you have to do? Look out for. What is the phrasal verb? Look out for. Last one. Amin wanted to dash search his missing pen in the playground. So here what you can write to for search? Search is look for. What you have to write? Look for. Next one, write the singular or plural for the given nouns. This is very easy for you, right? Yes, for piano, they will be giving you either the singular or the plural form. You have to write the answer correctly. Okay, for luggage, luggage only should come. You should not add s there. Okay, children, for goose, it is geese. Next, for calf, what you have to write? It will be changed into VES. Okay, children. So, I want you all to revise the grammar part very efficiently. You have to work it out. Okay, children.
So thank you, children. Have a great day. Do your exam well. Okay, wish you all the very best.